Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to my vow to my liege. Last time we had found the circumstances that led us here. Our entire family died trying to seal a dragon god away. And with its dying breath it cursed us so that one day we too will die. Welcome, Tuxedoji! Well, we're impersonating our younger brother now. We are living as the king. We are being introduced to a young lady who is to be our bride, or that was the plan until she got like super mega poison cursed, which is not good for international relationships. Oh, hi, Yogi Skafu. Yeah, good day. Good day, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's right. I am king of the land. And unfortunately, being king means that sometimes we gotta do what's necessary instead of doing what would make us happy. I put this up to a poll on my Twitter asking whether or not I should kill, go Jian over here? Or to trust him when he said that he knows a doctor who knows how to lift curses. And y'all voted to kill him, which is what our, I've already forgotten. Is he the Prime Minister? Was he the Prime Minister? This guy on the upper right suggested that we do. He is very buff and extremely hot. So, I guess that we'll be pursuing him. I'm not complaining, I just wish that there was another way. I'm sorry, old friend. Let's kill Godian. I draw my sword from its sheath.
少君
I will not let the Prime Minister make a move. Ayu and the people who once called me Ayu are long gone. What I've been indulging in is but a glimmer of what was once my existence. Just for a single solitary moment, she was an ordinary girl again. We, the royal we, are Fuchai, and we exist only for a kingdom of Since this is an act of revenge that we should have taken 3 years ago, we should personally see to it, and at the same time, kill off that horrible weakness of ours. Oh God, this is awful for her mental health.
阿玉，你真要杀我？
I don't want to. We are the king of They should have done this 3 years ago.
那好，我愿为朋友而死，但对吴王，我但愿你问心无愧。
The word conscience throws me off. Before I die, will I think of the people I failed to save?
少君，
I cannot hesitate. I am the king of The person I'm executing now is the one who murdered my father. He is an enemy of my kingdom. Yeah.
那个神医叫做姬氏。
Shishu? Was that what he said? Shishu? I can't replay the audio. Is that the difference between X and SH? Oh, chapter 3. So did he die? Did he? A thin layer of mist covers the surface of the water as a faint golden light shimmers on its surface. The morning air is a little cold but very refreshing. Today's weather is the perfect weather for us to set off on our trip. So we're going to be looking for that doctor after all? Why is it taking so long?
今天天气好，河道也拥挤。现在我们伪装成商旅，没法驱赶其他船只。
We let him live anyway! Oh, he is incredibly mad at us right now, isn't he? Fine. Just make sure to speed the boat up once we pass the Shu River.
神医所住的祝罗村就在水边，我昨日就已经传信过去，
他会在村里等着我们的。
I see. Thanks, Jian. I turn to look at Xiaojiang. She seems withered and dry, like a plant. Her complexion is darkened a lot, a result of her inability to eat or drink. Even Zhang Dan could do nothing about it. If it weren't for the jadefish amulet that I carry everywhere with me, she might not be able to hold out for another day. The most ominous thing is that she's still clutching that dagger with monstrous strength. Yeah, that is super cursed.
西施医术无法卓然，女公子定然无忧。
Sheesh. Do you know anything about his background? It sounds like sheesh.
因为他的住所在河岸西侧，又姓施，所以当地人都称他为西施。西施从未离开过祝罗村，也不让村民对外说起他，所以什么来历，罪臣也不清楚。
So that's how it is. I see. I say, not seeing at all.
但罪臣怀疑他是施家的后人。据闻施家家主曾任吴国大柱，料想大王必定知道施家吴越第一巫的威名。只可惜几年前与人斗法后惨遭灭门。
But that's my childhood friend. We know about that, but we were unaware of any survivors.
虽然以上都是罪臣的推测，但亦是敢冒险向大王推荐西施的原因。大王连日奔波，气色不佳，到祝罗村之后，也可请西施为您看看。
Good work, King of Yue.
罪臣惶恐。
Oh, he is so mad. A silence settles over the cabin. Qianfeng crosses his arms and stares at Jian. This makes Jian uncomfortable, so I, I think that Jian probably already is not a fan of us, so I'm just not gonna say anything, not gonna risk making things worse. Let's just be quiet. I don't mind the silence, but the fact that Xiaojiang is on the cusp of death, the future of Ng and Qi being on the rocks, and now this mysterious miracle doctor with the surname Shi. There are quite a lot of things to worry over. The trivial matters between two grown men are too petty for me to get myself involved in. That's the spirit. Feeling awkward, Jian makes a few polite remarks before excusing himself from the cabin. Don't treat him like some common criminal. At the end of the day, he is also a legitimate king of a kingdom.
我不信他。
Like what? You think that he's the king body? Oh my god, that would be so cool. Because, like, we're the fake king, right? Well, we do have royal blood, but we are impersonating who would have been the king if he'd survived. What if Jian is the same way? What if he's not the real king of the kingdom of Yue? Ah. I don't know if he's to be trusted or not.
但是，少君也希望那个失信神医和遗光有关吧。
Yi Guang, my childhood friend. That would be positively Shakespearean. There is no way that anyone could have survived the incident at Sword Pond. He could be a disciple of the Shi clan that had been away, or an impersonator. If an impersonator, well, we brought our sword with us.
我所认识的遗光，豁达宽厚，从不记仇。何况当年的事情，怨不得少君。
We are only human. Although he carried with him the loss of his parents, he never once forgot his duty. Well, I was not even able to convince my own father not to do such a cruel thing. I have failed Yi Guang. Right, our dad killed Yi Guang's family, was that it? I think that I remember reading something along those lines when I was looking at the relationship chart. Qianfeng raises his hand but hesitates midway and fails to place it on my shoulder.
我去为少君铺床，您病体未愈， 还是多休息比较好。
Aw. Hi, Vivlio! We turned out to not kill our friend after all in the end. I nod my head. In the past, I needed to sleep for a few days to recover from an attack. This time, I don't have the opportunity to. If it weren't for the jade fish, I probably would not even be able to move. I step out of Xiaojiang's cabin for a breather on the bow of the ship. Although my jade fish is protecting me from the effects of the curse, my chest still feels uncomfortable from the negative air around the princess. I hesitate just before stepping onto the deck. Jian is sitting there on the bow. Is he the true love interest? Oh god, were we this close to killing the true love interest? Oh god. I thought for sure that, Guang would be the true ending because he's childhood friend and is the last one to be introduced, really? Last one to be shown on screen? Is he the true ending? Oh god. He looks out into the distance where the water flows. His lonely figure stands out from the busy scene of boats coming and going around us. Ayu, why don't we just go? I swallow the words that I am about to say. Ever since he begged me for mercy, he has stopped being Ayu. Like a beautiful and fragile piece of glass, once it shatters, it can never be glued back to how it once looked. What's more, should he step out of line, I'll need to kill him. With a heavy heart, I go back into the cabin. Oh, this poor girl!
盼蒙封神，无欢苟活，何苦返船？
Ah, man, I forgot how cool the sound effects were here. My chest is hurting very badly. Is it love? It's happening again, and seems far too soon. The previous attack occurred only a few days ago. I cannot let myself be defeated now. I still have things to do. What's this? Huh? Once again, I see a big white fish swim towards me, out from the darkness. Its scales emit a bright glow, and in that brightness, a youth appears before me. Smiling, he says, "Don't be afraid." In my agony, I reach out to him. Guang. Oh, we really loved him, didn't we? It was just a nightmare. Feng. I hear a noise and call out for my guard as I rush out of the cabin. Just as I open the door, a black feathered arrow flies right past me and lodges itself into the door. I see. Well, let's get back inside. Chaos meets me at the bow. In this storm, I can barely pick out Feng and Jiang. They are leading the guards who are disguised as crew members in a fight against a group of attackers dressed in black. Are they the dragon worshippers? The attackers are the followers of the dragon god! How did they get here? I draw my sword and rush to Xiaojiang's cabin. Raining too hard to go out? Arrows especially. There was something odd about the incident at Tiger Hill. I'm afraid they may have come for Xiaojiang. Indeed. Her bed is empty. That's not good. As I look around, I see a trail of water droplets that lead from the bed to the outside of her door. With the fighting at the bow, there should be no guards at the stern. I grit my teeth as I rush to the stern of the boat. Thud, thud, thud. At the stern, two followers of the dragon god hold on to Xiaojiang as they prepare to jump into an approaching bamboo boat. I raise my sword and rush at them. I manage to injure one of the two men, and he gives a yelp as he falls. The followers of the dragon god are magicians. They are helpless when pitted against an ordinary swordsman who has trained a long time, like me. take this chance to rush to Xiaojiang, but the other person uses her as a shield and viciously kicks me right in the chest, where the sacred seal rests. Ooh, that's dirty. Shoulda multiplast. If they managed to steal away Xiaojiang, then everything we have done up until now would have been all for naught.
阿玉，
He used my name again. You?
狗贼！我杀了你们！
Oh, does he still care about us? Even though we tried to kill him? Oh no, he's really sweet. But what do I do?
臭小子，他来了，别管他们！
I don't think so. I use my remaining strength to rush at them as they escape and manage to grab hold of their legs. The two men land on the deck with a bang as Xiaojiang slips out of their grip and into the water. Oh, that's worse. I watch Xiaojiang disappear beneath the fast-flowing waters. Without a second thought, I dive in after her and barely manage to catch her in my arms. Oh. Can we swim? The impact of me hitting the water causes me to black out for a moment. He a homie. You find being almost killed and willing to help his homies. Yeah. Get you a man like this. And I come to while struggling against the current, but my limbs are no longer obeying me. I must fight for control. The water and the girl in my arms are both colder than ice. In the dimness of my consciousness, I can see that big, pale fish again. You. Is this a dream? Or is this reality? Caught in the landslide. Who's calling out to me? A blurry figure approaches me with open arms. My chest hurts so badly. In my pain, I reach for my chest, but my arms will not move. Someone is weighing down my arms. A person with a sickly, dehydrated complexion, like a dry twig. Xiaojiang? My blurry thoughts are clear now. I quickly raise a finger to her nose to see. Oh, good, she's still breathing.
那边找过了没有？
Oh,
找过了，没有。
I want to call out, but I see the men in black and know they are not my men from the Royal Guards. So. Since they are near, I can only carry Xiaojiang quietly into the water, where there is some tall grass beneath a tree, behind a tree.
我好像听到有什么声音。你先盯着岸上，我到河里nơi的草里看看。
I like how their voices are slightly muffled because of their masks.
稀稀拉拉的，一眼就可以看到了，也值得找。
Saved by laziness.
小心驶到万年船。
Aw, they're coming. Suddenly there's a disturbance as a patch of tall grass starts to sway. I then see a black spear hit the water, and it misses me by a hair's breadth. Ooh. Grabbing Xiaojiang by the waist, I try to move away from the spear without making too much movement. Passing out again. The Dragon God's follower keeps throwing his spear into the water and almost hits me a few times. After a few minutes, my body runs out of oxygen, and I cannot help but release a few bubbles. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god.
娘的，不是叫你看好岸上的吗？
我看着呢。
那怎么有丢石头的声音？
有吗？
我过去看看。
We clear? I carry Xiaojiang out of the water, but before I can catch my breath, a pair of hands cover my mouth and drag us out of the tall grass. Oh dear. Oh, he really is the true love interest, isn't he? Oh, I did him dirty. I stare at him in surprise. So it was he who threw the stone to destruct. That distracted the followers. Go Jian, can I kiss you? Go Jian stares at Xiaojiang, who is still lying in my arms, then points at a large log that has fallen into the water. There, in the rotting log, is a big hole. I want us to sneak into it? We hurry to the log and hide in it together with Xiaojiang.
水里什么稀里哗啦在响？
总算逮到你了！
哎，是条鱼，个头也不小啊。
Was Gojian carrying a fish in his pocket?
娘的，害得老子戳半天。
那几个人，莫不是被冲到更下游去了？
要是冲到关城附近，恐怕会被路人先发现。咱们快走！
都走远了，出来吧。
Where could he possibly have found a fish? Not just any fish, a big fish. Where are we?
应该是吴国边境关城的上游。
Huh. The followers of the dragon god sure act fast. We're not even out of wind yet. The model's looking pensive? Oh! Did my camera freeze again? Come on. Until I started VTubing, I didn't even know that cameras can freeze. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, and my sound got disconnected. Come on. Desktop. Oh, wait. Okay. I'm not doubting anyone. I'm just trying to think of a way to prevent their next attack.
你的侍卫忠心不二，哼，所以就只有我会出卖你了。
Go Jian, I'm so sorry. We have never said that.
我们这就去关城，你把我交给吴兵看押，再找个当地人带路就行了。何必在这里跟我说这种外交辞令？
You know that I don't mean it. I have never doubted you, Aju.
你只是不信勾践。
The way he stares at me makes the words that I want to say stay lodged in my throat. What can I do? I'm now the only person who Xiaojiang can rely on. Even the slightest mistake can cause me a lot of pain and problems. Let's out a bitter laugh.
其实，你对阿九又有多大信任呢？怎么从没亲口向我坦诚你是女子？
Huh. So even when we were friends with Go Jian, and told him our real name, we never mentioned that we're a girl? I stand there in stunned silence as I clutch the hem of my clothes, while the expression on his face says, so it is true. When did you discover that? I mean, we're, like, dripping wet right now.
你以为呢？哼。
Go Jian lets out a snort as he carries Xiaojiang and walks away from the bank of the river. It is then that I see that the clothes on his back are torn and tattered and covered with blood. Was it... Oh... Is this a dream? A blurry figure approaches me with open arms. Did you jump into the water when Xiaojiang and I fell in? He walks away wordlessly. Thinking back, there were some sharp rocks at the bottom of the rushing water. That idiot. Aju, wait for me. we got a map. Yeah, he's so manly. Oh God, what do I do? We start a fire to help dry our clothes. After a short break, we hurry along the bank of the river to a bridge that spans the borders of and Yue. We plan to cross the bridge that will lead us to Zuluo village? Zuluo? Judging by the map that Jian drew for us before we left the safest route would be to go through the border town, where we will meet up with Qianfeng, then take a boat up the river to our destination. However, after hearing that the Dragon God's followers also plan to go to the border town, we decide against it and instead head straight for our destination. But a more pressing reason for the change is that going to the border town now would add another 3 to 4 days to our trip, and I don't think Xiaojiang will last that long. Jian does not object to this change in plans. He's probably still angry with me since he hasn't said much on our journey thus far. Yeah, I'd imagine that he wouldn't forgive us that quick for, almost killing him. But truth is saying, when it rains it pours, it's true. As we almost reach the end of our journey, we discover that the bridge has collapsed. Wonderful. Excellent. How did it...
回大王，前面河流就分支了，要去筑罗，非得乘船不可了。
Jian is finally taking the initiative to talk to me again, although he is keeping his head low. I can't tell if he's being humble or just mocking me. He's trying to help! Is there not a pier nearby?
恐怕要绕回去关城附近才有。
喂，那边的小兄弟！
哦？
别怕见，只是个普通的农夫。
Oh, Jumpy！
你们是要过桥吗？前几天下大雨，河水暴涨，给冲坏了。
阿叔，这里有船能去对岸吗？
平时也有些小孩用竹排在河里抓着鱼，现在水那么急，谁都不敢下去喂河伯呀。
我们有急事要去对岸，求阿叔给我们指条路。
再急也不能拿命开玩笑嘛。你们可以到阿叔村里歇几天，等界桥修好了再走。
But we have a girl here who won't last that long. We need to do this to save a life, which is why I'm begging you.
作死的拦不住。再往下游走，河道左拐的地方有一片沼泽。
This area
人道能
sucks.
汤，
我怎么没听说过？
也是最近1、2年才有的事儿。心急要被鱼刺卡，阿叔不会骗你们的。还是等水退了，乘船过河吧。
What is going on in our kingdom?
这个阿叔说的有道理。你一路都在喘气，就算你不愿意去村里歇息，我们还可以绕回去关城。
And this is after getting rid of the dragon god that was, I don't know what exactly the dragon god's sins were. We cannot afford any delays. I look at Xiaojiang anxiously. She's still unconscious on Jian's back. Although the jade fish amulet is keeping her life hanging by a thread, anyone would be half dead by now if they, like her, could not eat or drink for a few days. Yeah, it's only 3 days for water, right?
唉，年轻人就是不拿命当回事儿。你们自己多小心啊！
Thank you very much, sir. We will be on our way. Adieu, I'm sorry, but I cannot wait any longer.
大王非凡，足以成国之重。罪臣没有资格反对大王的命令。
Oh, he's mad. Oh. This is not in order. Jian turns to look at me, and I look back at him, and he looks at me, and I look at him with an expression of sincerity, as if the words had come from my heart. No matter what becomes of our relationship, I would never be able to put on airs in front of him. That's so romantic, what the heck? Sorry, what did you want again? I know the harder I push on, the heavier the burden is for you, but Xiaojiang is getting worse and worse.
知道了，瞧你气成这样子。
He mumbles as he lifts Xiaojiang higher up on his back, and with long strides he starts in the direction of the swamp. I secretly let out a sigh of relief and quickened my pace to catch up with him. I'm sorry, Aju. The swamp is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Very ominous. Although the waters are not deep, the currents from the river have made them muddy. The forest canopy casts dark shadows all around us, and it is hard to watch our steps, making it difficult to walk. Surrounded by rotten trees as far as my eyes can see, I am starting to become depressed. Oh, mood, I'm already there.
走不到天黑，从现在开始就得想办法落脚了。
Huh? But is there maybe only one bed? In this forest? Camp here?
天黑了之后就辨不清方向了，倒是能看见幽魂山鬼。你敢不敢走啊？
I'm not afraid. You can't scare me.
哦，那这个大王怕不怕？
Wrong button. Jian turns around with a snake covered in colorful patterned scales and is as thick as a hempen rope. He takes it and waves it in front of me. Be careful with that. That's a creature. That's a living animal.
放心吧，没毒。
Saying this, he tosses the snake quite a ways away from us. Don't be mean to it! What if we put our beds next to each other in Minecraft? IRL. This man is more like a wild man than the king of a kingdom.
不然大王以为我是怎么活过这3年的？
You got a point. Feeling a sense of guilt, I lower my head and stare at my feet. The life of a king who has become a slave is not just fraught with hardships, but it is also one filled with loneliness, as there would be no one willing to lend a helping hand. What would it be like for a person who has, ever since birth, led a life of luxury, to now lead such a miserable life of humiliation? What's more, he has not once complained about it to Ayu. He wanted to look cool in front of the person he liked. Oh. Oh, man. And he has such clear effects on her mood, too. I don't think that this relationship can, get back to being healthy-ish unless they work really hard for it. From the hardships that I've experienced since I began this journey, I think I can understand him a bit better now.
这种时候，野人比国君派得上用场。
I'm not... curse time! Why is the sacred seal hurting at a time like this?
阿玉，你怎么了？
Oh, he's so worried. Oh, he can be really mean sometimes, but it's all born of worry and resentment that we didn't trust him with our secrets and feeling helpless because he can't protect us from everything. Oh, and we almost killed him. Oh, thank you for the sip, Ed. I'm gonna take a sippy. I'm sorry, Jian. I promise I'll go on your route next.
35年，生意何欢？
Oh God, it's our guilt. I blink my eyes as my consciousness returns. I realize that if Jian had been a split second slower, I would have fallen into the mud. Oh. I just tripped. I'm fine. He saved us from the mud. How can any boy be this good? I secretly clutched the jade fish at my waist. Although it was only for a brief moment, the bitter animosity that I felt just then makes me tremble.
三生无念，三生无念，生亦何欢？
Are we feeling it
三
again?
生无念，生亦何欢？
No. Get lost. No, not you! Not you! Suddenly it feels like there's someone grabbing hold of my hand. My eyes widened to find Gojian at my side. I'm fine.
逞什么强？你需要休息。
Did he hear that? Without another word, Gojian pulls me under a big tree. I cannot refuse him when he's so insistent about it. The floating island that he has us sitting on makes me feel a little anxious. The ground shifts a little, but does not sink.
你的手是不是受伤了？
I open my palm without thinking. It is covered in traces of blood that have taken the shape of the amulet. Have we been clutching it too tightly?
你是傻子吗？
He frowns as he treats my wounds. I watch him bend over my injury, and am reminded of our innocent days, when we were just Ayu and Aju. Those were the days when our troubles were as far away from us as the clouds in the sky. They were such beautiful but short-lived days.
你看上去很累了，睡吧。
I am reminded of the voice just now and shake my head. Yeah, we don't want to be left alone with our thoughts. And by our thoughts, I mean our curse. I hurt all over, so I don't think I'll be able to fall asleep. Let's just chat.
你以前就特别重视这块鱼，有什么来历吗？
Well, besides how it, soothes the curse, have we told him about that? A friend gave it to me when we were children. It was his clan token and can drive out evil. He was our first love.
那位朋友一定很重视你。
Is he jealous? Maybe. Shortly after giving me the straight amulet, he passed away. To this day, I don't know if he died for Ng or for me.
身为王子，国家和个人本来就没法彻底分开来看，何况如今你是国君。
True. That is what it means to be king.
听起来却不像是愿意做的事情。
We didn't want to be king. We want our brothers back. I'm afraid that I haven't performed well.
其实，我认出之前咬着我们不放的人是龙神信徒。吴越相邻，当年河驴大动干戈剿灭龙神信徒，我岂会不知？黑衣覆面和刺青是他们的标记。
Well, does he have an opinion on that?
阿玉，跟我说句老实话吧，他们是为报仇而来的吧？
Probably. Yes. Mage Xian, the previous head priest of Ng, had intended to unify the Dragon God's followers in an attempt to take over the throne. So, we had all of the traitors executed.
这也是逼使你隐瞒女子身份继位的原因吗？
Yeah, because all of my brothers are dead. My entire family is dead, Gojian. You killed the last member of my family.
早在虎丘山上，我就怀疑你是个女子了。
Oh, that long. I'm shocked. I never thought that he would have suspected me for so long.
你又何须这么惊讶？我们那是太过亲近了。
Oh, does he regret falling in love with us? Oh, I'm
老实
sorry,
说，
Gojian.
我到现在也分不清，到底你是吴王，还是你是个女子。也许最让我震惊的是，你把吴国治理得很好。
He thinks we're doing a good job. Do you really think so? That I managed the kingdom very well.
真的，我知道这有多难。毕竟，我也曾经是国君。
This is where my parents died, Gojian. Oof. Why did you not expose my identity as a girl?
因为我觉得，我们是同类。
Similar?
你认为是你扮成假小子为王荒唐，还是我从国君沦为奴仆更荒唐？世事颠倒无常，仿佛造化弄人，命不由我。但是，我不认命。
Hey, that's my favorite Viking VTuber. I don't know, how is she? Just kidding. Welcome, Sig. We ended up not killing our friend after all. And now I'm falling in love with him. What do I do? I am stunned. Jian gazes up at the sky that is half covered by trees. The expression in his eyes dazzles me, and I cannot look away. He is definitely the true ending. Oh God, what have I done? How do you plan on taking control of your destiny? Date him? I almost killed him. I think that we're probably locked out of his route now.
只要一息尚存，我誓不言休。结果生也好，死也罢，我命由我创。
YOLO. Hearing him say that, I see myself struggling for my life under those big dragon claws as I let out a long, blood-curdling scream. In that instant, I finally understand why Jian and I are so similar. We both have tasted the pain of loss too many times to allow our fates to control us, to not struggle against its oppression. To take control of my destiny. Date him and then stab him as he's dying of old age, so you get the best of both worlds. Jian, do you want to return to Yue? Jian whips his head around to look at me with bright eyes. We stare at each other for quite a while before he finally nods his head. Yeah, let's please cut his slavery term short. Please?
想。
I don't want to keep my friend as a slave. Slavery is very, very, very bad. I can punish you for treason for what you just said.
我本来也有无数种方法可以达成目的。我可以欺瞒你，讨好你，甚至在计划为大王献上西施的时候，我都可以暗中算计你。
Then why haven't you done so?
因为你能明白我。
This is so romantic. What do I do?
你明白我，正如我知你为王，比常人多出太多苦处。我敬佩你，阿玉。所以，我不愿骗你。
He said, Ayu, not Fuchai or Your Majesty, but Ayu. Fine. Once we have cured Xiaojiang, I will allow you to return to Yue. Jian wears an expression of disbelief. With eyes opened wide, he quickly kneels down and prostrates himself before me.
借，感激不尽。
Stop, don't thank me so hastily. There will be conditions that you must agree to before you can return. The countries north of the river have always despised yet feared Ng. War will break out sooner or later. Although the kingdom of Chu has been heavily destroyed, its foundations still stand. It is only a matter of time before they retaliate against Ng. I heard him speaking and thought I accidentally had my Chinese dramas on. You must manage the kingdom of Yue well, so that Ng may have another ally. I may regret the decision that I have made today, but I most definitely understand you. Aju, I want you to take control of your own destiny. Jian stares at me with his mouth wide open, then finally kneels down once more and bows before me. Oh, the pain in my chest slowly fades, and I cannot help but smile. Oh, I bet she has a really beautiful smile too. This is a gamble, but who's to say that I don't have choices, that I won't be able to take control of my own destiny? Enough. Kneeling and bowing here on this barren and untamed mountain is pretty foolish. Now get up.
也对。
Oh, they are so in love. What do I do? We look at each other and burst out laughing. It's so pure. Ah.
怎么了？
I think I hear a strange noise. Do you hear boss music?
我也听到了，还越来越近。小心后面！
As I turn around, something smelling of rotting flesh flies at my face. I instinctively reach out and grab it. It's a snake! I throw the snake down as hard as I can. It is then, as it wriggles nonstop, that I notice that it is black and about 2 feet long. It cannot be. As I draw my sword, several black snakes spring out of the water and come at us like black arrows. He came back. With my sword in hand, I can smell the putrid stink of snake blood that seems to permeate all around me. These snakes are far bigger than the one that first attacked me. If any one of them were to wrap their bodies around us, we would be in serious danger.
怎么越杀越多了？
The strange noise I hear seems to be getting louder and louder. I take a quick glance behind me and see hundreds of the black snakes slithering along trees and rotten logs that barely stay afloat due to their weight. Oh, that's right, we're on a floating island. We should probably get off the floating island. From a distance, it looks as if the swamp is boiling.
快跑！
Jian throws Xiaojiang over his shoulders like a sack of potatoes and grabs my hand as we flee the floating island. Do you know which direction we need to go?
来不及仔细看了，凭感觉吧。
Oh, okay. The bottom of the swamp is very soft, and we seem to sink deeper into the ground with each step we take. We would have been too tired to move if it hadn't been for a short reprieve, although we are not much better off now for it. 3 royals, that's right! 3 royals just running through the swamp. Duck, where? I slash at a snake that is as thick as a child's thigh. Mud and snake blood splash on my face. Ew. But I have no time to wipe it off. With a backslash, I kill yet another enemy of unknown origin. Jian seems to be in no better shape than I. Black Snake falls onto his shoulders and that nearly causes him to slip into the water.
这肯定是那位二叔说的沼泽精怪。
Oh, right, he said that, didn't he? Oh, so maybe we should have made better pace instead of waiting around so that the swamp monsters would attack us. Well, hindsight is 20/20. You don't say! Would normal snakes gather like this to kill us? I wouldn't know. I'm a king. I have never encountered snakes before. We are unable to take a break due to the mountain of snakes. After killing an endless number of snakes, the trees thin out some, and I can finally see more ground than just the floating island.
看来不远了，再坚持一下。
Something isn't right. Can you feel it?
攻击我们的大蛇变少了。等等，他们在拼命向前游。
Oh geez. Are they planning a frontal attack?
一群臭蛇有那么聪明吗？
My legs shake a little. I squint my eyes to better see where the snakes are congregating, and I notice a dark clump of bush that seems to grow taller and clearer the closer I get. Once I see its smooth, slippery belly more clearly, a black python that is a few hundred feet long comes charging right at us. What?
阿姨，
Jian pushes me away, and with one slash, he gives the python a horizontal gash to its belly. Unexpectedly, the giant python doesn't bleed from the cut. Oh, I hate that! Its belly gushes even more huge snakes. Absolutely awful. No! I don't like this. There are a countless number of black snakes wriggling in its belly as the wound closes before our very eyes like it had never been wounded in the first place. This unnatural scene is making our hair stand on end. Fractal serpents! This snake gives live birth!
龙神信徒。
We look past the snake to see a few figures in black, standing on higher ground, playing a strange and accursed song. La, 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 la. Their bodies emit a black smoke-like aura that seems to follow the eerie chant as it enters the giant black python.
果然是他们在搞鬼。
Let's cut off the snake's head. Yeah, just like Hercules.
信徒交给你了。
Before finishing his sentence, he flings Xiaojiang at me and rushes at the giant python with a slash.
臭蛇，冲我来啊！
Come at me. I tighten my hold on Xiaojiang as I grit my teeth and run in the other direction. Neither of us can defeat such a strange monster. Our only way to win is to rid it of its source, the Dragon God's followers. Aju must have also thought of this, which is why he's trying to bait the snake. If I were to worry about him and turn back, I would be betraying his trust in me. We're already at the edge of the swamp. All we need is this last-ditch effort. Suddenly, a person in black lets out a strange scream.
什么？
Gojian's exclamation shocks me and I turn around. The swamp floor begins to bubble as hundreds of black snakes leap up. In the blink of an eye, they join together with a giant python and begin charging straight at me. That's not good.
快跑！
Yep, running. The giant python comes at me like the wind, and there is no time for me to make an escape. A strong sense of dissatisfaction rises within me, and my tired body suddenly perks up with energy. Dissatisfaction. Is that the word for it? With one thrust, I stab my sword into the pitch-black belly of the python. Right, that'll summon more snakes. If only I had this kind of courage when I was faced with that giant white beast 5 years ago. I'll take control of my destiny. I cut open the belly of the python with my sword, and it gives a howl of anger. It then opens its mouth wide and rushes at me, and then we stab its mouth? I know that hair color! Oh, and this music is so good! Suddenly, hundreds of swords rise from the water around me and pierce through the giant python. With just one attack, the water swords manage to shred the monster into thousands of pieces. Splatters of mud fly onto my face as I stand there in a daze. Was that snake monster made of mud? And what were those swords of water? Oh! It's Xingqiu! Like an unstoppable tornado, water swords fly majestically through the sky towards the giant snake which is attacking Gojian. I bet he set you up. I bet he's our childhood friend. He's got his mom's hair color. And his dad's also, I think. I can't remember what his dad looked like besides that he was hot. A mesmerizing figure in white dances gracefully. His sword strokes are so fast that they look like flashes of lightning. His long sleeves sway like the long tail of that big, beautiful fish that frequents my dreams. It all seems so unbelievable against the tragic backdrop of mud and blood. His ma used water swords, didn't he? Or was our mama? Yeah, I think that both of his parents used water swords. My vision starts to blur from this sprays of water and mud as I watch the giant snake get cut into thousands of pieces by the water swords. The followers let out wretched screams before falling dead as their evil souls leave their bodies. We're saved! My body goes limp like a ball falling from midair, and I tumble to the ground. But I stare forlornly at the figure in white as I am overcome with a feeling of familiarity. He's clearly... Gojian rushes to my side, but a pair of strong and fair hands are one step ahead of him. They gently pick me up into their embrace. Oh, I like this pose. I really like when people with long hair do that finger twirly thing. With the problem solved, a long-forgotten feeling of security overcomes me as my consciousness slowly fades. Did he just cook Gojiang? Yeah, he did. Oh! Someone sighs softly in my ear.
阿玉，莫怕。
Oh, this is a good voice. Chapter 4. Well, this is the last chapter that we can play for the day.
阿玉，诸神仪式太过凶险，我虽然希望你别参加，但是这事非姬无子孙不可。
Oh, that's right. That was our birth name, wasn't it? Tengyu. The head priest has already informed... Wait, this is her as a small child. The head priest has already informed me of the dangers. Since you're not afraid, I need to be just as brave as you. And by small child, I mean 14 years old.
就知道你会这样说。来，这个给你。
Isn't this the jade fish amulet that never leaves your side?
余玉寄宿着玉灵，我自少已无力供养，她的力量早已不逊于我。
Come to think of it, I've heard of nurturing evil spirits within a vessel. Like you stick a bunch in there and the surviving one is the most powerful. But I've actually never heard of cultivating a protective spirit before. That seems pretty nice. I mean, for cultivating a protective spirit, I'm familiar with how to summon an Inugami, but that's not a ritual that I'm a big fan of. Isn't this supposed to be given to your future yin fish as a token of love? Why are you giving it to me? Oh, we are dense!
若有什么万一，余玉能救你的命。
I bottle-fed this magical spirit every day. Then that's all the more reason why I should not take it. What will happen if your powers aren't enough when you're alone on Tiger Hill?
必须先在太湖把龙神精魂封入大鼎，才会运到虎丘以见阵加固的。我这边没那么危险，你就拿去吧。阿玉，就当是安我的心。等秋季结束后，你再还我，好不好
？Since you feel that way, fine.
今之所愿，唯望阿玉平安。
Oh. Sunlight? After a few days of continuous rain and gloomy skies, the warm and gentle sunlight is especially comforting. If only it wasn't so bright. Yeah, I think you put a bunch of venomous creatures in a vessel or something, and the surviving one is full of resentment. Yeah, that's how to make, like, an evil spirit to curse somebody. And Inugami is a protective spirit made from a dead dog. I'm not going to go into the details about that, but that's the only protective spirit cultivation that I know. Wait, where am I? I tumble out of bed and look around. It seems that I'm alone in a simple, tidy wooden hut. The smell of medicinal herbs hangs in the air. I find that all my wounds have already been treated, and even my usual ailments are not giving me as much pain as they normally do. I take in my surroundings with suspicion. I cannot find my sword. Left with no choice, I pick up a stick that is lying next to the door and give it a few practice swings. Good, this should be helpful. Wait a minute, where's Ajiu and Xiaojiang?
哎呀，小哥你醒了。
Aww. A plainly dressed village woman appears. She puts down her broom and comes to greet me warmly.
你肚子肯定饿了，阿姐给你做鱼羹，你快先回屋歇着啊。
She sounds nice. Wait a minute, Mrs. I suddenly feel something holding me back. Looking down, I see that I'm surrounded by the village children. They eye me with curiosity.
去，把客人吓着了。先生下次不给糖吃了啊。
Oh, the gentleman? No. The village children disperse like a school of small fish and laugh as they run away. I put down my stick awkwardly. Oh, thank you for the sustenance, village lady. Let me see. Mrs., can you please tell me where I am? I can't seem to open the... Ah, here it is, the glossary. The gentleman? Oh, it just means this sir here.
这是祝罗村呐。
Zulor Village. Is there a doctor by the name of... I've already forgotten how to pronounce this. Shishi here?
小哥，这就是西子的家呀。
I look around the area to see a simple and clean courtyard surrounded by a few wooden huts. In the middle of the courtyard, a few bamboo sheaves. On them are strange plants and insects that were left out to dry. This really does look like the residence of a doctor. Sheesh. Sheesh. The village woman continues to explain.
你们几个被先生从沼泽救了回来，身上都有伤，睡了好几天呢。那沼泽有精怪，你们遇到了先生，运气真是好得不得了。
Oh, a few days. Is the young lady who was with me maybe all right? She is usually pronounced like a short sh, I think. Ah, right. They had pronounced it shishu before. Shishu. Shishu. That's true. Do you know where the two people who were with me are? Mrs., have you seen them?
那是当然啦。
Did they wake up before me? The village woman takes out a piece of cloth from her pocket and hands it to me.
这是你那位兄弟让我转交给你的，他昨天一早就离开村子了。
Is he going home? Anxiously, I unfold the cloth. On it is a message from Jian. Ayu, I am going to the border town to look for the others. Please trust me and wait here for me. Adieu. Adieu? Did you... How are you going to let my guards know that I'm okay? You know how little they trust you, right? I think I know the difference. X is more like... hiss, kinda, but it's more like halfway between English and sh. Halfway between? So it's... I see. Because with an S, the tongue is around the front of the mouth, and with sh, it's kinda tucked behind, so maybe somewhere in between would sound like... I think I get it. I think the X affects how the vowel is pronounced too. Ooh.
那个小妹嘛，一两句话说不清楚，你跟我来。
Oh, that does not sound promising. The village woman brings me to a hut and takes out a bunch of keys.
这穷乡僻壤的，倒也不是防贼，主要是怕村里那些小毛头不懂事，不是故意把人锁起来的。
She unlocks the door while apologizing to me. It's dark in the hut, and after my eyes adjust to the darkness, I am greeted with a shocking sight. What is this? Are these lines of depth perception? Xiaojiang seems to be floating in midair. Her arms, which had been curled tightly in front of her, are now lying by her sides. Yeah, this is definitely a complication. The ominous dagger that she had been holding is also suspended in midair, and is now dangling tip down directly over her heart. It falls but a few inches. If it falls but a few inches, it will pierce her heart. There is a bird engraved on the dagger with gems for eyes, and they gleam sinisterly. It feels like it's trying to read my mind. The village woman suddenly pulls me back as I'm about to take a step in. She has a lot of strength for someone so petite. Her one yank forces me to take a few steps backwards.
千万别进去，会碰乱那些线的。
What are they? What are they? Strings? It is then that I notice something shiny as it reflects the light coming in through the door. Who put all these strings in here? Do we have a spider problem? It is one of the many strands of silver string that are tightly strung all over the hut. It is also these silver strings that are holding up the girl and the dagger, making them look like they're floating in midair upon first glance.
先生交代过，在小妹醒来之前，碰不得那些线。
I know that silver was believed to, or I think maybe scientifically does have anti-poison properties. I don't know to what extent, but is that why? Are the strings the medicine? Medicinal bondage? Saying this, the village woman locks the door and hands the keys over to me with a smile.
不过她说，等你看过了之后，就把钥匙给你。你想看随便看，就是千万别再踩进去了。
Let me see. Oh, definitely antibacterial. Oh, so does that mean that if I take, like, a silver stick and put it over a wound, then that'll be a good way of cleaning it up if I don't have a first aid kit on hand? Hello, I went to med school. I specialize in bondage. Thank you, Mrs. And, where is Mr. Shishi?
他去河边清洗草药了。你从院子出去，顺着左边的小路下坡，就能看到了。
Thank you. It's got to be pretty constant contact, so I'm not sure that'd work. Right, because after it makes its initial contact, then it's not really direct contact with the silver anymore, is it? So I guess I gotta keep on using modern medicine. After thanking the village woman, I turn around and run out of the courtyard.
找到他了，就赶紧回来喝鱼羹啊！
Is it because I feel well rested, or because the medicine he gave me was so effective that my body feels as light as a feather? It's been many years since I felt this way. Even my heart feels like it was soaring. The footpath goes downhill, and I can already smell the faint scent of water. There he is. Suddenly, a thought crosses my mind. I slow down my pace. My life starts to flash before my eyes as if I were on the brink of death. Everything that happened in my past feels so unreal. Although I cannot deny that we were indeed saved by a man named... Sheesh. Visions of a man dressed in white while standing amid that black, swampy water come to my mind. I cover my mouth in amazement. It's not possible. This must be the delusion that one has before they die. Ever since that nightmare about what happened at Lake Tai began, the image of that person keeps appearing in my mind. That must be why I am seeing a vision of him as my rescuer. That must be it. After all, when I went to the Sword Pond 5 years ago and saw the place filled with dead bodies, among them was it? As I try to piece the past events together in my mind, I become more and more confused as to what really happened. Amidst the chaos in my mind, one assumption seems clear. If only that person were alive. I run like the wind to the riverside. Ikwang, we're here for you. Next to an old tree that is half submerged in water. Those two piles of dirt look like a butt. I see a familiar figure with his back turned towards me, his head lowered. He is staring at 2 mounds of dirt that are under a tree. He's staring at the butt dirt. I hold my breath and slow down my pace as my vision begins to blur. In front of me is a man with hair fluttering lightly in the breeze. He carries with him an air of gentle dignity, just like my childhood dreams which have disappeared and have never returned.
阿玉，
The man turns around and faces me with a warm smile. A refreshing breeze blows from the direction of the river, and all the hardships that I faced these past 5 years seem to disappear in it. The only thing I can remember is our final moments together, and Yi Guang's beautiful and gentle smile. Today I can finally see for myself, in that pair of calm, bright eyes, a thin, fair village man. Although I have changed since then, he is still as perfect as the day we first met. If this is a dream, please don't wake me up. What are you staring at? A derriere made from mud. I see. I made it myself. Erotic, is it not? I have to go now.
阿玉，
It's Yi Guang. It really is.
几年不见，你可别是变傻了。
Yeah, you were my brain cells. Yi Guang opens his arms as he teases me, welcoming me like he did in our youth, and making me feel like I had never left his side. I choke in my emotions and I punch his chest with all my might. While he's negging you, he ticks 95% of my boxes. Oh, he is incredibly handsome. Oh, if he had, like, tiny glasses on him, tiny squarish glasses, that would be A+. But Go-Jian. Oh, Go-Jian. Oh, but Go-Jian has loved us for so long, too. He's been with us while we were in so much pain these past couple years. This man needs to accessorize more.
我，阿玉，你用得着这么大力吗？
Yes. I thought you died. Unable to control myself, I burst into tears. Lost in my anger, the pure turbulence of many mixed emotions turns into a violent storm within my heart. Suddenly, I'm taken back 5 years ago to the bloody event that happened at Lake Tai. Seeing the ground at the sword pond covered with fresh blood and corpses, I had torn my vocal cords with an ear-piercing scream. Just a hint of age to his face and some more muscle and... yeah. His voice, yeah! I had once thought that killing the dragon god would be well worth the sacrifice, but little did I know that the price would be so heavy. Did we kill the entire Shi clan to create this seal? Hi, Zakuichi! We've reunited with our childhood friend who we thought was dead. To secure the spirit of the dragon god, my father had reinforced the sword pond by cruelly sacrificing all the people in the Shi clan. Jesus, Dad! When I had rummaged through the mountain of corpses like a madman, searching for Yi Guang's remains, I felt like I too had died. Why did I survive? She didn't ask for this.
玉，
She just wants her family back.
阿玉，
Sorry. So sorry.
为什么要道歉？
I couldn't get to Tiger Hill in time to save you. I'm sorry.
这根本不关你的事，何必苛责自己？
My head is hurting and I'm feeling dizzy. It almost feels like I'm dying again. Yi Guang lets out a sigh, then lifts my lowered head. He takes his sleeve and gently dries my tears. Under his calm and quiet gaze, I slowly regain my composure. Yi Guang?
冷静些了吗？阿玉，我需要你听我说话。当年，早在秋季前，我阿娘已通过卦象卜知诸神之事凶多吉少。
And she willingly sacrificed herself for the kingdom?
你我早知龙神是邪魔外道，一旦他吸取了足够多的姬无魂力而邪法大成，世上就难逢敌手。我爹娘族人矢志诸神，为的是心中大义，哪怕最后劫数难逃，仍是我们的抉择。正如你们因为自己的抉择付出了代价。
Yi Guang. I gaze into Yi Guang's clear, bright eyes and am amazed at how they hold no trace of deception.
我还活着，阿玉，你也一样。
Yi Guang, marry me.
我不记恨任何人。
Marry me right now. I'm speechless, but I know that everything he has said was from his heart. She, Yi Guang, has always been a generous and broad-minded person. My torrid emotions finally calm down as I sob and rub my nose. I eye Yi Guang's sleeve with embarrassment. It's now messy with my snot and tears. My ending sensor is going off. Yi Guang waves his hand in an act of casual dismissal. We have had basically no scenes with our Prime Minister and our bodyguard. It's like they intended for Go-Jian and Yi Guang to be the only love interests.
我还以为你要直接哭断气呢。
This boy has a root. Of course he has the root. He's the center boy on the opening title screen. What a dumb thing to say. I start to laugh and Yi Guang joins in the laughter. With everything that happened that day at the Sword Pond, how did you manage to escape?
阿娘心软，舍不得我一同陪葬，暗中托付族中的一位大佬。万一不测， 便施法使我假死。
So whose corpse did I find?
后来我们隐姓埋名，辗转到了此地，就有了你今日所见的西施。
But you made sure to keep the she, huh? So I see.
大致情况我已听勾践说了，想不到来求医的原来是你和越王啊！
I thought you already knew.
几天前，一个旧病人来信，请我为他的朋友治怪病。我早知这人出身不低，却没想到他口中的朋友就是你们。
Oh,
直到感应到余玉靠近。
is that how he knew we were in danger? Your old patient should be a relative of Go Jian. So you rushed to the swamp because of the jadefish amulet?
余玉几乎算我的分身，感应到他在附近时，我还吃了一惊呢。
He knew that we were in danger. 5 years ago, when you gave me this amulet, did you know what was going to happen?
有隐约的预感，但未卜先知如我阿娘，又如何呢？
Poetic. That is true. It never stopped my father nor I, from trying to break the sacred vow, not even when we knew that it would be as difficult as becoming a god.
昨日之事不可留。
You really don't care about what happened? Your entire family is dead, though? Yi Guang smiles as he turns to look at the earthen mounds beneath the tree. Oh my god, are these your parents' graves?
去年，那位大人
Oh
去
God
世了，我把他葬到我爹娘的衣冠冢旁边。得闲时，来与他们话话家常。
I am so sorry I said that it looked like a butt.
斯人已逝，与人世间切断了联系，
I am so sorry.
又何必强留住
Oh
那些
God
爱恨往事，用来束缚自己的人生呢？
I gaze at the 2 mounds of dirt as the river continues to flow endlessly next to me. Like, I thought that you would at least put, like, an upright stick on top of them to be, like incense? Or, like, some headstone? Is the tree the headstone? It seems like I'm the only one holding on to all the hatred and suffering. While I don't want to be tied down by my destiny, I cannot escape its chains. If only there were more easygoing people like you in this world.
戏子，不好了！
Oh, is it the young lady?
阿忠嫂，
放着小妹和剑的屋子在震呢。
The whole hut! Mr. Shi Yiguang, I, your earnest admirer, this fool unbecoming of your kindness, please beg your respectful forgiveness.
知道了，我们走。
They didn't even give her a separate sprite for frowning. Oh dear! When we reach the courtyard, we can hear a strange bestial sound coming from the wooden hut that Xiaojiang is in. Some of the roof thatching on it has even fallen off. As I take out the keys, Yi Guang waves his hand and the door opens with a whoosh. Fancy. The once tranquil light in the hut has now turned bizarre. A thick fog escapes the room and engulfs me, making me feel nauseous and dizzy. The once motionless Xiaojiang starts to struggle as the dagger inches closer to stabbing her in the heart. Oh, nope. Yi Guang reaches for the silver string and immediately, blood pours out from his fingers, dyeing the silver string red.
好，从天坠者，从地出者，服！
As the spell falls from his lips, the silver strings start to glow a pale green. In an instant, the thick fog and bestial sounds stop, as everything returns to the peaceful state it had once been. Yi Guang enters the hut and nods his head at me.
人没事，放心吧。
Yo, that was sick! Just now, was that normal?
不正常。我在屋中布下2种咒术，一个是银线逆引之术，能引导少将散逸的魂力回体；另一个则是辟邪之术，
So the sword stole her soul?
通常2种咒术都不会有什么动静。
Yiguang holds the dagger gingerly as he becomes lost in his thoughts. Unless it is the work of the dagger, I too was nearly harmed by its evil aura.
这把短剑并不是邪物，而是神器才对。
Sacred? Like, not sacred to the dragon god or something, right? Because we've established that the dragon god was an evil spirit. Sacred artifact?
对，它的巫力很强，与那座风神的德顶相比，也能羁绊。
This dagger isn't cursed, you're just evil. I'm speechless. To think of my endless search for such a strong artifact, and it was right in front of me this whole time. Actually, have you guys read the short story, The Sword of Good? I recommend it. We were always under the impression that the dagger was the medium of a curse. But if she's not under the curse of this dagger, why hasn't she woken up?
根据我对巫邪那伙人的了解，他们施术把少江的神魂困在血祭阵中，而这血祭阵正在试试他的魂力。
A human sacrificial array?
对，血祭阵难成之处在于，它以中咒者的血为媒介，结阵于神魂上。以外力贸然破阵的话，恐怕会误伤神魂。如果没有那把神剑护体，少江走在中咒时就会被夺走神魂了。
Well, then what was the purpose of giving her the dagger? Ah, so that's why the followers did not kill her. No, even if they had tried, they might not have succeeded.
那把剑和余玉一样拥有气灵，也会护佑其主。
Huh. But back then, the amulet protected me from an evil aura. If this dagger is so powerful, why doesn't it help Xiaojiang?
恐怕施术的龙神信徒也付出了极大代价，才强行突破了剑灵的防御吧。
Is this dagger also blessed with a whole dead family? From what Zheng Dan told me, it takes 3 lives. This is really strange. The followers must have known her real identity if they were after Xiaojiang specifically. But why are they still chasing her here even after getting what they wanted? And why are they still using the human sacrificial array? What's an array? I'm just thinking about math. Like they put her soul into a math table? But what's an array? Like something mathematical or mechanical? I'm not familiar with its use as a noun for, like, physical space.
确实，他们布阵试试魂力必有所图。或许症结出在了少江身上。
It could be 3 intersecting points? I also don't know what that means. What would that do? I don't know magic. Should I be watching more wuxia? With that said, was Xiaojiang's disappearance on Tiger Hill really a coincidence? The more we dig into this matter, the more confusing it gets. It looks like we have to wait until Xiaojiang wakes up to understand this better. So, is there anything we can do to save her from the array?
只要他的魂力聚集起来，借银线阵之助，就能靠自己的巫力破阵了。
So we gotta wait for this girl boss, huh? Her own magic?
阿玉，你不知少江是巫女吗？她修为还不错呢。
Seriously? After learning that the dagger was a sacred artifact, I didn't think there would be a piece of more shocking news. Did he tell Gojian about this too? Yiguang sighs and presses his index finger on Xiaojiang's forehead. A white light emits from where he is pressing as the silver strings shimmer all around us. It is then that I realize that Xiaojiang doesn't look as withered as before. She now looks like she has simply fallen asleep. Her rosy cheeks stand out against her dark hair and fair complexion. What, did everyone get in on this mage thing except for the main character? It looks like it. Although she is a little childlike, she is quite the beauty. Oh, Ayu? Are you maybe coming over to the buy side? She is beautiful, a powerful mage, and the favorite princess of the King of Qi. If I was really a man, I would have been happy to have obtained such a treasure. Oh. Yeah, I think that we have a portrait of her somewhere in relation. We have... oh, right, and here's Yiguang's parents. They're really handsome. Oh, and I completely forgot about this Zhengdan guy. Oh, and here's Xiaojie. That's not black hair. That's not black hair, is it? Like, my eyes aren't going bad? Futai didn't multi-class, which is why she can so easily dominate multi-classers. It's light black. Why are you compulsory straight?
我渡给了少将一些巫力，但杯水车薪。
哦，
应该是。
No, not skip. What happened? What? How do I turn off the skip? What did I press?
村外的守阵被人。
No. That said, it must have been an outside force that created the disturbance just now. Could it have been the Dragon God's followers? Should have been, Yiguang must have felt that something was wrong as he wears his stern expression. What's the matter? Something has happened to the protective spells that I placed outside of the village. I don't understand what has happened, but I chase after him as he flies out the door. We run back to the bank of the river. There are already quite a few villagers gathered here, and they point at the opposite bank. The children run around underfoot as they join in on the fun. Following the gaze of the others, I look to the opposite bank. Oh dear!
果然是他们搞的鬼。
Yiguang, we need to get everyone to safety.
别担心，他们闯不进我布在村子四周的守阵。
Yeah, the protective spell that you said something happened to? Saying that, he points to a softly glowing string that runs along the bank of the river. Is that the protective spell?
对，我和大佬当初为防有邪物闯进村中，合力布下了守护阵。那天救回你们后，我猜信徒还会再来，便特意针对他们惯用的巫法加固了阵法。
But they have a lot of people. Are you sure about this?
守阵常年被地脉灵力滋养，无碍。就算没有守阵。
Geniuses are all so proud.
Hmm?
Nothing. The leader of the followers takes a step forwards and points at me. Is he picking me out for a demonstration?
他手中好像拿了些什么。
I walk closer to the riverbank with caution. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? He lifts a pale green jade amulet that is made even more eye-catching by the followers' black attire in the background. That is Chen Feng's amulet. What did you do to him?
好，进去。
Yeah! With an exaggerated wave of his hand, swords of water magically rise up from the river and fly toward the enemy. The leader of the group gives a sinister sneer as a sudden puff of smoke seems to swallow them where they stand. The spectators give a gasp of surprise. The water swords turn back into water after passing through the smoke. Once that smoke dissipated, there was no trace of the men in black. Yiguang, give me back my sword. Chen Feng and I were on the boat when we were attacked and got separated. He must have been captured by those villains.
也可能是个故弄玄虚的陷阱。如果他们只是为了抓你，用陈峰本人做诱饵，岂不更好？
I know, but you cannot expect me to do nothing, can you?
陈峰也是我的朋友，他出事我怎会坐视不理？如果真的落到信徒手上，我一探便知。
Oh, so he spent some time with Chen Feng too. Oh, I didn't mean it that way.
我明白，但你的身子虚得很，需要好好调理。
Oh, he's so
还不如留在守阵，
reliable.
等我的消息。
Yiguang looks at me sternly. I feel guilty, like a difficult patient who has not followed her doctor's orders. Fine. You have a point. I will stay here in the village.
放心，我不会和他们正面冲突的。
You better not. I already thought that he died once. I'm so proud of him for having friends.
乡亲们，你们也别出村或者下田了。刚刚那群是妖怪，很危险。大家先安心等我回来。
How are they going to grow food?
哎呀，原来不是变戏法的呀！
The rest of the villagers are none the wiser as they laugh and chat about what happened just now. I'm the only one who's worried. How idyllic is this place? Yi Guang waves at us. He taps his foot lightly on the water and sails gracefully across the water to the other side. Inside the hut, I anxiously walk in circles until my head starts to hurt and I begin to feel dizzy. Well, did we finish the fish stew? The waning moonlight is faint, and the flickering candlelight irritates me. I've been listening to the silence of the courtyard since sundown. Mrs. Zong, we finally got her name, left after washing the utensils. There are no masters or servants in this village, so she only comes to help when she's free. She knows that we're useless. It's getting late now, and yet there is no sign of Yi Guang. Something is not quite right. Oh! That sound, could it be Xiaojiang? Ooh, I quickly take out the key, only to find that there is no lock on the door, and an ominous red glow can be seen coming through a large crack in it. Bad! Looking through the crack, I can see the dagger swaying right above Xiaojiang's chest. The tip of its blade seems to be lowering bit by bit. Were they trying to lure Yi Guang just now by the riverbank? Not me, but him? No, there's no time to waste. I cannot let that blade hurt Xiaojiang. Oh. A peal of eerie laughter resounds throughout the hut. The gems on the carved animal hilt of the dagger look alive, and like real eyes, they seem to roll as they look right at me.
残生无念，生亦何欢？不如死了。
Yi Guang, if the sword isn't cursed, then why is it necking me? It's you again?
你谁也救不了，你连你自己都救不了。
Oh, this voice effect is really good though. If I had to describe it, it's like it's speaking at the back of your head, but also pacing back and forth, left and right. It's a good feel. Get lost!
盼望最长，苦苦家亡。
This sword has the personality of an internet troll. What? The red light coming from the room is getting more and more intense. The gems that are like eyes melt under the red light and drip down the dagger like blood. The blood-like liquid drips onto Xiaojiang's body and turns into flames. The beautiful mage, the sacred dagger, the hut, everything is going up in flames. The chilly night wind makes me shiver as I stare at the hut in front of me. Its doors are locked and nothing seems out of place. I slap myself awake. I seem to be awake. Was that a dream just now? Worried, I take the keys hanging at my hip and go into the hut to see Xiaojiang. What? The dagger that is pointing at her chest suddenly burst into flames. Now would be a good time to slap ourselves again. Xiaojiang and the dagger start to shake. Xiaojiang struggles while dangling in midair and then falls to the floor with a loud thud. Her body is now tangled up in the strings like a wooden puppet, and it twists her in the most unnatural way. Oh, geez, this is gruesome. Oh, geez. Up. Xiaojiang, I'm coming. Don't move. Trying to endure the pain from the sacred seal, I start to pull on the intertwining silver strings with my bare bands. Every one of them cuts deep into my palms like a knife. I need to cut the strings. I watch the dagger hanging in front of me as it starts to quiver and emit a cold light. If you are really a sacred artifact that's meant to protect her, then let me use you to save her. I feel like cutting the strings is a bad idea. Considering Yi Guang put those in specifically to protect her, yeah, I think so. I must save her before I collapse from the pain. Yeah! Where am I? Oh? And? I'm afraid that's all. That's as far as I'm allowed to stream for this game. Oh man, what happens next? I'm gonna have to play through the rest of it on my own. Oh, this game is available on Steam for a really good price though, so if you're interested, I highly recommend it. Oh, Go Jian, I'm so sorry. Yi Guang, come back soon. And the other three. I really want to hear more about you. Because you've had like no development. I mean, the Prime Minister is really hot though. He's buff with white hair and thick brows. But the bodyguard is also really cute. But if it's about that protective appeal, then I think that Yi Guang does it better right now. Yi Guang and Go Jian, both of them have that appeal of somebody who's known you through the worst times of your life. Oh, what? How do I choose? Thank you guys for playing through the first 4 chapters with me. This has been a lot of fun. Oh, I don't like cutting streams like less than 2 hours in, but I don't really have anything else to do at the moment, I think. Oh, and actually, Our Life, Chapter 4 just came out today. I'm not sure how long it is though, so I am not sure if I'm going to show the epilogue of the playthrough that I'd streamed before, or rather I'm not sure if I had the time to show it today. I think that I'll do it later. I mean, another day. In the meantime, let me see who's available to raid right now. I know that Isabella is doing a subathon. Yep. Oh, she's doing well. Oh, but Neo Kitty is also playing Deltarune Chapter 2. And Neo Kitty is also showing her feet right now. You guys like that, right? All right. Since Neo Kitty has fewer viewers, I am gonna be rating her. Are you guys ready? Though I also really recommend checking out Isabella's channel too. Again, she has a subathon going right now, so you can check her out at ENVtuber. But for now, we're gonna be rating Neo Kitty. We come from the same art mama. So we're gonna be seeing her in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And for everybody who stuck around, thanks so much for watching. This has been your host, Fukunaga, signing off. Bye!